Hello and welcome back to a late evening Hell Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. In tonight's episode we have the highlights from today's fixtures from the Betfred Super League. So after being given an extra day off in the Super League fixtures, their Super League returned on the Friday night with some live rugby league. That meant that there is 2 games for each day due to one of the games on Friday being pushed back to Saturday. We'll talk about that on Saturday. Anyway, those 2 games are St Helens versus Huddersfield Giants and Wigan Warriors versus Hull FC in the first of 2 games against the Hull clubs over the next 2 weeks. The live TV game between St Helens and Huddersfield Giants saw Saints leading the league by 4 points from their local rivals Wigan Warriors, and were looking to maintain that after defeating 3rd place Giants if the result went their way. Wigan Warriors play a 5th place Hull after they had beat Hull KR at Magic Weekend, while Wigan came up a cropper against St Helens. So first of all, first played 3rd in one of the most intriguing games of the season. The 2 come into the game on the back of a statement wins over the weekend against informed sides and will be full of confidence. Huddersfield gained an extra surge of confidence too if they defeat the champions. That would certainly prove their title credentials. For St Helens, and with an unchanged squad, Christian Wolf won't be making many changes to the side who defeated their major title rivals Wigan. However, Alex Walmsley will of course return to the 17 as a starting prop, with Ignatius Parsley dropping to the bench, and either Jake Winfield or Dan Norman missing out. Huddersfield, like Saints, Ian Watson will not be forced into any changes, but will likely make them anyway. Oliver Wilson will likely return at prop, and Josh Jones to the back row, with Sam Hewitt or Joe Greenwood dropping to the bench subsequently. Theo Farge will play his first game at the Totally Wicked Stadium as a Giant, but the more fascinating question is who will join him. Will Ollie Russell keep his spot, or will Watson turn to Will Price? Ahead of Huddersfield's clash with top of the table St Helens, Watson believed that they are the 2 best teams in the Super League in terms of the number of areas, and wants to see a grand final between them. Take 2. Ahead of Huddersfield's clash with the top of the table St Helens this weekend, Watson himself believes that the 2 teams that face each other are the best 2 teams in terms of a number of areas, and wants to see the grand final between the 2 clubs. We are probably the best teams in terms of territory, possession, and the way we turn the ball over, Watson said. It would be nice if it materialises that way, a grand final between the 2 clubs, but there are going to be a few other teams that have a say in that, but we have to believe in ourselves that we can beat St Helens. Before this game, St Helens announced that 2 of their squad players have gone out on loan. Earlier in the week, it was announced that Sam Royal and James Bell were the 2 players. Academy graduate Sam Royal has joined Hull KR on a 2-week loan as the Saints Academy product who captained the club at every level, but he has just been limited to the 4 appearances this season. And Christian Wolf says it's a great opportunity for Sam to play in Super League at a good club. It's a real positive for his development. He was part of the Young Saints side and also captained the side that were defeated at Castleford earlier in the season during the Good Friday, the Easter weekend rounds. So he has indeed captained the side from under 11s all the way through to the senior side. He has worked hard with us to put himself in a position to play a few games, and this move will allow him to gain confidence and experience and then return to us. It's a good move for both clubs, said Wolf about the move. 28-year-old Bell has rejoined Lee Centurions for an initial loan period of, well, as long as he wants and as long as Saints wants, because they have a long-standing dual registration partnership with Lee over the past 4 seasons. This deal has also seen the likes of Tom Naisbitt and Aaron Smith join the Championship club on loan. And as that has continued with the Scottish International, Bell has been included in the Lee squad to face Dewsbury on Sunday at the Tetley Stadium at 3 p.m. Bell joined the club from Lee at the start of the campaign after playing 18 times for Lee Centurions, and has since gone on to play 7 times for the Saints club, so a loan to get him appearances before the end of the season would be great for both parties. It was a game for the purist in today, as St Helens firstly went down to 12 men after Danny Levi looked like he was injured. Sione Metautia tried to pick him up by the collar, which is now frowned upon by everyone in rugby league and has led to big bans and sendings off, which unfortunately referee Chris Kendall had to abide by and send the younger Metautia brother off to his disappointment, is the best way to put it. You can't pick up a player if he's on the ground. He might be seriously injured. You can't do it. It's not up to you to determine who's injured or not. He got his marching orders. Huddersfield did try to go in, but some brave defence from Jack Wellesby and Johnny Lomax kept Innis Senior out on the left corner, trying to make him the 12 man to 13 advantage pay in Huddersfield's favour. It looks like the leg was down before the ball was put down, but I think they both went down at the exact same time, which meant still no try. But Saints use their knowledge and know-how and get the first points on the board. After Morgan Knowles was stopped, Darcy Lussick tried to run the option, and a good kick by Lomax was chased by Joe Batchelor, who scored his 3rd try in 2 games. The video referee was called into action about the grounding once more. This time Chris Kendall called it up as a try, which, as you see here, downward pressure was maintained, and it was given. Before half-time, Will Price tried to score from 40 yards out, a penalty to get Huddersfield on the board. Unfortunately, he missed the kick. He wasn't the only one, as Johnny Lomax missed the kick, but second half came along and it was Ignatius Passy, who was a rampaging force all the way through the game, who scored left of the post. It was just a simple ball and it was too strong for Chris McQueen. He was left on his own with the big forward. It was Saints in again not long after, on the 53rd minute, after Wellesby got on the outside of Toby King, and he ran in to the applause of all the Saints fans. Johnny Lomax had hit a penalty just beforehand on the 49th minute, and Saints were cruising despite being a man light for 50 minutes of the game. It was bad news for Jermaine McGilvray, as he had to go off due to an ankle injury, but Saints' defence was tested by Huddersfield very rarely, and this again, where Innis Senior was clobbered and lost the ball. Great defence by Saints. It was desperation. Man down, fought the overlap, but Welsby got across to stop. After another attempt by Saints, they almost got in again. But this time Lomax's kick was too much for both Benison and Senior to get on the end of. It was counted as a knock on there. So Saints were still in the lead, but not as much as they wanted at 18-0. Video referee denied the try call. Then another controversial decision came along. After in the tackle, there was a bit of pushing and bumping, and Morgan Knowles was still getting his dander up, and he was thrown to the ground by Chris McQueen. But after video referees sorted out this fracas, see here, the arm went up into Joe Greenwood's face a few times. Couple more to go. There, and then a tougher one, and then this one, a short one, and then a long one. Chris Kendall was back in his back pocket and sent Morgan Knowles to the sin bin for aggressive behaviour. That didn't deter Saints, who are now down to 11 for the rest of the game, as Welsby found a gap and passed to Johnny Lomax, who had just enough about him to get over the line to score the final try of the game on the 76th minute. Apologies, 75th minute, which Lomax converted. He kicked 4 from 6 in the night as he was taking advantage of the kicking. Huddersfield did try to get over in the corner, but again Lomax was involved and he did enough after the video ref looked at it to knock the ball out of Will Price's hands. He banged it just before this, and Will Price was not able to recover the ball afterwards, as you see there, pushing it. And now let's get on to the teams, as they have been called, and St Helens is quite easy to talk you through, as there are only 2 changes to the squad. One, Alex Walmsley comes into the starting lineup, Dan Norman drops out of the squad, and Ignatius Parsi goes to the bench. So 3 names, 2 changes. Will Hapuati continues at fullback with Conrad Hurrell on a decent vein of form recently, with Jack Welsby and Johnny Lomax continuing to provide the ammunition for all the rest of the team, to be honest. Joe Batchelor continues in the second row as after his 2 tries against Wigan last time out. For the Giants, first of all, Tuilola here does not travel with the squad and it misses out, so Will Price comes in at fullback. Other than that, it's the same back 4 and half-backs, with Jermaine McGilvray, Liam Cudjoe, Toby King and Innes Senior, with Ollie Russell and Theo Farge coming in. Oliver Wilson finds his place on the bench, and that means that Nathan Mason misses out. But in other words, it is the same starting lineup that beat Salford at Magic Weekend, 30 points to 18. Despite being down to 11 men for the last 10 minutes, it was basically a routine St Helens win as they put the Giants to the sword, 25 points to 0. We now turn our attention to Wigan Warriors versus Hull FC, as we see this matchup being between 2 teams coming off the back of 2 differing Magic Weekend results. Wigan were denied a huge derby win over St Helens, which would have seen them draw level with the champions at the top of the table by a late try. Meanwhile, Hull FC picked up a huge derby win over Hull KR, thanks to a controversial disallowed try. After such conflicting results, which side will claim the win here? Wigan have lost Brad Singleton to a 2-game ban, whilst John Bateman has also dropped out with injury. Kai Pearce-Paul will likely return after missing last week's match through illness. Hull FC will have a like-for-like swap with Connor Wynn absent through suspension and is replaced by Mitieli Villikajapani after he himself served the ban. So we'll see how these two teams get on. So on to the team news, with Hull FC to begin with, as we see more or less the same team that played against Hull KR in the friendly at Magic Weekend. With Connor Wynn suspended, we have Mitieli Villikajapani joining the centres with Josh Griffin in the only change to the back line, with Joe Lovadua and Luke Gale at half-back. Chris Sarte and Brad Fash are the starting forwards as they were against Hull KR, and Jack Brown continues at fullback. Ellis Longstaff, Josh Sim are both still in the side, which features Jordan Lane and Jack Brown at the final places in the back row. On the bench, it's still the same side as Jacob Hookham, Matty Laidlaw, Charlie Severs and Scott Taylor complete the bench. For Wigan Warriors, it is again 2 changes that were expected to the side, with Ethan Havard being promoted back into the first team starting lineup as they are coping without Brad Singleton, who was suspended due to the incidents at St James's Park. Kai Pearce-Paul comes in for the injured John Bateman, while on the bench, Brad O'Neill takes his place on there due to the changes. And from a scrum, Wigan got the first try as the ball was in the hands of Jai Fields, who found Bevan French, who dove over in the corner. First try of the game. Harry Smith converted the touchliner, so it's 6-0 to Wigan. The scoreline became 12 a few moments later, as Harry Smith kicked through for Jai Fields to chase, and as he wasn't tackled, he passed through to Bevan French, who got past 2 would-be Hull defenders to score in the corner once again, Smith nailing the conversion. Then Jai Fields took the ball in his own 10-metre line, and despite some decent Hull chasers, Jai Fields was just too quick for the rest of the defence. Wigan was 16-0 up at this point. Smith missed that conversion. And it was a case of men against boys in some cases, as again, the likes of Mago, Field, and great cutout pass there found Bevan French, who ran round to make the conversion even easier for Smith, which made it 22 points to 0 to Wigan. After a bomb from Harry Smith was fumbled by Walker or Sim, French went in for his 4th try of the half. We go into the second half, and it was yet again the Bevan French show, as he got the ball off Kai Pearce-Paul, and he did all the twisty work to score for his 5th try of the game on the 43rd minute. Not to be outdone, Jai Fields got on the act, but Patrick Mago's power through the middle did enough for Kate Cuss to get on the end, and the supporting Jai Fields scored underneath the post. I think he got a little bit lucky there with that one, but it was given either way. Wigan were only rampant at this point, and it only got worse for Hull as they went to that right edge again. And Smith and Field found Bevan French, whose pace was enough to outstrip the Hull defence, as on the 53rd minute he'd scored his 6th. Martin O'Fire's record was Leslie Vinacolo's record on the as well. Is it Vinacolo? Anyway, But Evan French scored a Super League record 7 tries in the Super League for Wigan. And after that, they decided to take him off. And Wigan stopped scoring until the 71st minute. And this time, it was another winger that got on the try scoring. As this time, Liam Marshall found his way onto the right-hand edge. And he scored in the corner after some great play again by Jai Field. And just to wrap it up, after Brad O'Neill was stopped near the line, and Ethan Havard took the play of the ball, Cust found Harry Smith, who went over for the final try of the game. And Hull were dominated, 66 points to 0. Zut alors, parlez-vous français? Bevan Septese. And that's it for this late night episode of Hell Dominance. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide as we look to cast the net for rugby league that expands and expands. 2 fantastic results tonight for the top 2 as St Helens nilled Huddersfield despite being down to 11 men from the 70-minute on. But how bad were Huddersfield? Just to finish the game, 25 points to 0. Wellesby kicks a drop goal. Left foot. That's how soon. That's how close to the end I'm actually recording this little bit. But in the other game, Bevan French, Super League record, not a Wigan record, a Super League record of 7 tries. 7 tries against Hull, who were supposedly full of confidence and pride and exuberance of winning the derby. We got beat 60 plus. Evan French was going after the Wigan Warriors record of 10 by Martin O'Fire against Leeds. But they took him off with like 20 minutes to go. That's how on fire he was. Unbelievable. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. But in the meantime, please stay safe. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.